In the Know with Lolo Knows, your ultimate destination for music enthusiasts and culture aficionados. I am your host, Lolo Knows, and today's show is a true treat for all fans of electronic music. Our guests today are the driving forces behind one of the most influential collectives in the underground electronic music scene. Hailing from Detroit, Michigan, they are the heartbeat of the iconic Detroit Techno Militia, a collective dedicated to preserving and promoting the rich heritage of Detroit techno worldwide. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed guest to the show. First up, we have co-founder and key figure in the group, known for his unwavering dedication to the Detroit techno legacy, a visionary in the world of electronic music. Let's give a warm welcome to T. Linder.
Thank you for having me.
How are you? So good that you're here.
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me, Lolo.
Finally. Next, we have a powerhouse behind the turntables, a maestro of beats and rhythms, and a core member of the Detroit Techno Militia home team. Please put your hands together for the one and only DJ Soul. Hi.
Yo, what's happening? What's happening? How's everybody doing?
I'm so glad you're in Michigan and not in Australia. I'll be saying that until you start talking.
I wish I was in Australia right now, but next month. It'll be next month. I'm going next month.
Okay, but you're going for you're going to be going for a tour.
I'm going for a couple shows and also to see my lady. So, yeah, I've been really. Ooh,
yeah. Connection, that love connection.
Yeah, so we're planning on doing Melbourne and Brisbane is the idea, but just a couple shows, but it'll be fun.
Well, guys, I came prepared, and I really want to thank you for joining me. I know we did our movement interview. Unfortunately, that audio just was not up to my standards, and Tom, I couldn't even hear you. I don't know what happened to your mic. I don't know if it was not on, whatever, but
I think we were sharing the mic.
We're making up for it.
A couple of us were sharing the microphone.
I do have some nice footage that you guys could use from that interview, and you guys could post it on your social media and overlay some music over it or something and show some behind the scenes type stuff. It's good for that because that's definitely one.
Oh, yeah.
I always say I'm a lot better DJ than I am a talker on the mic, so that would probably work out best.
Yes, I think you actually did a pretty good job. You had a lot to say at our interview and movement, so I'm going to try to capture some of that, but I actually do have some questions I have prepared. So give me a second just to kind of pull these up. Let me just pause this for a moment because this is probably where I'm going to cut. Hold on. Here we go. All right. So how do each of you interpret and contribute to the Detroit Techno Militia's ethos of preserving the craft of DJing, DJ culture, and the camaraderie through the music? Who wants to answer that first?
I'll go for it. That is a very, 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 very good question. We all started DJing back in the or at least a lot of us started DJing back in the mid-90s. Some other DJs in the crew started before that, but we all kind of had the same point of view when it comes to Detroit music, where it's come from, where it's going, and where we wanted to take it. And Angie kind of built this group of misfit toys. You know, it's like the all of misfit toys or whatever, to bring together all these DJs who kind of have a similar thought process when it comes to Detroit music. We all have a great respect for the history, great respect for the legacy. And we just tried to make our imprint upon that with our own style. Detroit Techno Militia is kind of a little more aggressive style when it comes to Detroit music, Detroit techno, Detroit house, and we just tried to make our imprint from there.
So where was the foundation of music that led you to techno?
Billy, you want to go ahead with yours?
Oh
So
yeah, that's another really great question. But like for me, like I was really into aggressive music when I was in like grade school, like was heavy metal and hardcore, and which kind of led into industrial music. And then really soon after finding that, I kind of found techno music, and I still listen to all those musics. They kind of blend together pretty well for me. But yeah, kind of that was kind of my lead into that. And I mean, most of those musics I was only really into like for maybe, like a few years at a time at a real peak into that music. And then well, once I found techno, I mean, what it's been like, it's almost like 30 years they haven't changed, right? So it took me a little bit to get here, but we found it. Now we're here.
didn't you feel like connect? I mean, how did it connect with you guys like spiritually when you guys were, producing it or mixing it and doing your thing?
For me,
Have some impact on you spiritually and helped you guys to,
I'm not such a spiritual guy. I see the soul in it, but when I started, I was just trying to get chicks. I don't mean to say that. And I did. I found
It
Techno,
worked.
and she put together the Techno Militia. Angie, she kind of brought everything together, and we all
you guys in. She said, "Hey, this is
yeah, really.
incredible, but we got something here, man. You got something here."
Yes, I don't know what I did. I tricked her into liking me, but with everyone in the crew, we all kind of have different backgrounds, whether it's hip hop, industrial, techno, rock and roll, soul music.
Mhm.
And I always call Detroit Techno Militia kind of the X-Men of Detroit techno. We have someone from every kind of musical background,
Yes.
and it's worked out pretty good for us, and it all kind of gels together, whether we're playing all together as a group, releasing music, or um just being out there.
So do
Yeah,
you
to that point, I think that that really ties in with your original question of the camaraderie. And like a lot of us, even though in our own rights, stand on our own 2 feet pretty tall, like when we're with the group, the militia, the name is bigger than all of us. And that camaraderie is really special where we're out there performing as a group as the either 313 the hard way or the 5x5 or Tom and I performing as a 2x4. We do the group acts more because it is like the camaraderie, and we're putting the label front as opposed to our names, and it's a lot of fun doing it that way.
So, what is the collaboration process like within when you guys create new music or plan performances?
Well, with the performances, we have a few different incarnations that I the best way I can call it. We do a lot of times we'll do solo sets. That's the main thing. Then we'll do what we call the DTM 2x4, which is two DJs on four turntables. We also have 313 the hard way, which is three DJs on four turntables, two mixers, or three mixers. I can't remember. And we also do another thing called DTM 5x5, and it's five DJs, five turntables. And so we like to kind of push the art of DJing, whether it's vinyl or digital or a DJ playing with someone live or whatever. And I always kind of like to push the art of what DJs can do and what musicians can do. We almost take a band approach to it, even though we're playing music of our own and other people's music. I like to take kind of a street level band approach to it, and that it's kind of worked out great for us.
So everybody just kind of works together and just does it, just like what a band would do. And that really
Yeah, and it's all improvised. It's all right off the cuff, and it's that makes the fun out of it. you know, that's what makes it a lot of fun.
Yes. So what about you? You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think that performing as a group, like the way I like to describe it is that, when you first start DJing, it's like it's exciting, like it's like you can't even believe you're putting two things together and it sounds amazing and people are dancing
Yeah.
and then you do that for 10, 15, 20 years and it's still exciting, but it's not the same exciting, you know what I mean? And so when me and Tom put together some of these group acts, like it's like that same exciting as when you first started DJing again.
Yeah.
Like I'll be performing and I'm focusing on what I'm doing, and then I'll hear what Tom is bringing in, and I'm like, oh, I can't even believe you're bringing that in right now, and then it's gonna work so well with what I'm like. The same kind of feelings you get when the first few times you get some mixes going. That feeling I get a lot when I'm performing with the Militia, and it makes it uh like young again, it makes it like new again, makes it exciting again. So it's a lot of fun.
Love that. I love that. Um, so I know Angie's not going to be on the show. So you said, but her having a manager and her being able to um
Keep me
put
in line.
together and be like the brain, the operation behind this has been a huge blessing to all of you, huh?
Yes.
Jesus, yes. Jesus, yes.
Doing before Angie? How was your bookings before? Where I mean, okay, hold on. And this is good. This is an important question. So I'm digging a little bit because I know you guys are ridiculously good forever. And I'm sure people wanted you at their parties. So were you not managing them when people were approaching you guys, or were you guys just taking any gig? And she was like, "Oh no, you can't do it for that. We're gonna have to do this."
It
I mean,
wasn't so
I
much
don't know.
that.
Like, how did that work?
I'll explain it 100%. No, the thing was, we were uh
You see, I'm
together.
representing today.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Uh
Represent.
oh, look at that. Um, we as DJs, at least for me, I had been playing for about, I don't know, this is probably about 7 years. And Angie and I, we were dating at the time, and when we were going out to shows, she would see me and our friends playing and comparing it to DJs who were coming into town
Hmm.
and seeing them playing. And at that time, Detroit techno, or the techno that we were into,
Hmm.
was not in fashion at that time. As you can see, I'm not really into fashion. And but there's a difference between style and fashion.
Yeah.
And our style of DJing was different. We had a different standard for what made a great DJ.
Hmm.
And Angie said, look, if we just put something together and support each other, people will catch on because we have something here. She's not a DJ. She's a great behind the scenes person. She's a great organizer, facilitator. She's so great with that.
She really.
And so she said to me at my little apartment in Inkster, Michigan, she said, "Hey, I want to start a crew. I want to call it Detroit Techno Militia. Are you in?" And without swearing, I said,
Up with the name. The name is
"Yeah,
so
I'm in."
tight. It's so tight.
And so that was 2002-ish. And from then we brought together like-minded people. We brought together people from all around the world since then who have kind of the same musical aesthetic, the same kind of beliefs of music history, music knowledge, and like where it was, where it is, where we want to take it. with respecting that the knowledge and the history of Detroit techno.
Your tour schedule. How grueling? Do you have a grueling tour schedule, or are there just months where it gets really ridiculous, and then maybe some months where it's just like you guys are like taking a break? Do you ever take a break? Do you ever say I'm not doing this for about a month, or you just
No,
let
No.
go?
no, we definitely. I mean, like you only work for a few hours at a time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not like it's a
That's not the work part. That's the fun part.
right. That is the fun part. But yeah,
Did say
we're
earlier,
like we
earlier though in our he said that can get a little like, you know, I wouldn't say tired of it, but you kind of it's not the same as it was when you first started, like the feeling. Remember when you said that, Tom?
oh yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
So I
Because I
was
mean,
wondering if any of that gets in the way of sometimes when you're touring or when
maybe.
you're always on the go, or if you've ever known artists that's go through burnout. I guess that would be the proper word, burnout. Ever had burnout in all of those years?
No, not yet. Not yet.
That's freaking fantastic.
I mean,
Uh,
it can be tough, but the easy part is the show. The grueling part is the road part. And Bill can speak to this because we've been sharing futons and whatever for years.
yeah, tell me about more
You really
about
get to know a guy.
Yeah, the road can be tough for sure. It's definitely not for everybody, but we don't. I wouldn't say we take breaks because like it's not like we're doing so many gigs that you need to take breaks. But we do have some pretty grueling tours. I mean, we don't do the 6 week tours like we used to, 5, 10 years ago. Mainly because of like family restrictions, job. I mean, I have a job too, so you can't be going out there for 6 weeks anymore. But going out there for a couple weeks, coming back,
yeah.
and going out for a couple weeks. Tom and I did a few trips where we like you get back from the South America tour, you go home, say hi to the wife. This is back when I was married, right? And then we head out
Oh, you
immediately
were
for the
married
European
back in the
tour,
day.
right? Yeah, that tells you how long ago that shit was. Excuse my language. Uh,
Oh my
but yeah, no, like as grueling as it gets and as tiring as it can get. I mean, we're doing the the best job I've ever heard of in the world, right?
right.
And why I'm so sad. I got to fly to Germany and play at
Could be
Berlin for a
worse.
thousand people. Like, yeah,
Oh
right.
man. Oh
Like
my goodness.
it's so terrible.
We're
It's not
definitely going
terrible
to
at
get to
all.
that. Can you describe a particularly memorable performance or moment that stands out in your career?
For me or for
Yeah,
Tom?
for
We
both
both
of you.
got one.
Both.
This is a question for both of you.
One
Like
of them that the first one that comes out to mind is like just because I was talking about Tresor in Berlin is when we did a label night for the Techno Militia at Tresor, and we got to have a few of our friends and family do their first like European performance in front of a giant packed house in one of the most famous
Uh,
clubs in the world. Uh, I think like me and Tom were walking around for hours after that, just drinking beers and shedding tears about how fucking
eight
happy we were
o'clock in the
for all
morning
that.
in Berlin, two ugly Americans just walking around. It was a beautiful
Yeah, it was
moment.
pretty special.
Yeah.
Pretty special.
is that the same? Is that the same for you too? Or is there
Oh,
another?
that was a big one for the group for Techno Militia. But like one of the things is we always try to really try to bring it wherever we want every show to be like that. Every show to be one where we're like, that was absolutely awesome. That was great. And every show, whether it's a backyard party or a stadium, we want it to be like that, like a big festival or whatever. We want it to be like that. I remember one time we got this gig in Malaga in Spain,
Oh yeah. Oh
and
man.
and Bill and I get there, and it was we got there and they picked us up from the airport and we didn't have any downtime. We like this was one where we got there, we played, we went to work. And we got to this place and it was this weird kind of, it looked like a medieval times kind of place, the restaurant medieval times. And we got there and they took us in and we went in and we were hanging out in the green room. And the promoter said and looked out and there was a lot of people through the windows downstairs dancing. I'm like, man, there is a lot of people down there. And I said, I said to Bill, I said, oh, this is gonna be fun tonight. And then the promoter goes, hey, do you guys want to see the main room where you guys are playing? Well, oh, sure. So we walk out and go through this thing, and we looked out onto how many people will you say, Bill?
No, first of all, we walked up, and they walked us around the outside of the venue and around all these tents, and you could hear madness, right? I don't know, I couldn't tell. It was just a lot of people. And there's this giant white like tent for festivals. And we walk up to the back of it, and Tom's talking to the promoter, and I kind of lift the flap and look in and like let it go. And I turned around and they could tell the look on my face was like, are you okay? And I was like, Tom, I don't think you're ready for the 30,000 people that are behind this fucking flat right. Excuse my
It felt like that.
It was, yeah, it was at least,
there was enough people that would not fit in that tent.
And it was spilled out into, it was the main room of this festival, and it was it was the only time we were taking selfies of ourselves with the crowd. Like we never do that kind of stuff, right? But it was that big of a crowd. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. And we had fun doing it. I like ramping up to that level. We both of us I've been playing for 28 years, not to show my age or Bill's. I think he might be a couple years older than me, but just a couple.
I'm only 24 years old.
Yeah, 24 years in. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. I'll show you the ropes, kid.
I just started last year.
Yeah. There's a newbie DJ over here.
I got a really special moment because we're talking about like the behind the scenes, like that you're saying.
You guys are sharing. This is exciting.
Yeah. Just wait. We just wait.
How long is this
beer.
Go ahead.
Yeah. The behind the scenes stuff is really special. And like Tom telling the Malaga story, the boiler room that we did was really, really special. And nobody even knows like the behind the scenes of that story. Like it was a really fun performance that was off the cuff, and magically the three of us came together for that. Tom, myself, and DJ Psycho. But like nobody even knows, like they changed the sound of that club. They put the DJ in the middle of the dance floor. All you could hear were echoes while we were DJing.
No excuses. No excuses.
And no, I mean, like it sounded great. The DJs before us, you don't see their boiler room performances because everyone was train wrecking as a solo set.
Perfect DJs that we came up on.
I'm giving no names, but like
perfect DJs, and they were having trouble with the echoes because they put the main speakers were behind the monitors facing at the DJ. And so that being the case, it was a nightmare. And I remember a friend coming to me, he's like, dude, how the heck are the three of you going to do this? And I was like, bro, hold my beer. Let's go. Right. And it really came out magical. I don't know if you've ever seen that. There's a video on YouTube. It's pretty good. But the behind the scenes, whenever I see that, and see how magical some of those mixes came out for three of us, and I remember how difficult that was. That's pretty special. That's a camaraderie moment. That's catching fire in a bottle kind of thing, just catching like fire at the moment. That's the wonderful thing about DJing to me, at least.
That is being in the moment.
Yes.
Just taking a journey along with everybody else. That's how I always saw it.
Yeah.
If they only knew that we're on the brink of disaster, right? If they only knew, the crowd only knew that at any moment it could go so wrong. They have no idea, right? And that's the joy of it.
Oh yeah.
Surgery with the chainsaw.
Huh?
Surgery with the
Okay, let
chainsaw.
me
I
just
call it.
ask, okay, off the topic just for a minute, because I didn't have this question in here initially, but since we brought him up, DJ Psycho recently kind of stepped down for a minute. Do you
Mhm.
think is this going to be a permanent thing, or do you think he'll come back eventually?
This is a question for DJ Psycho.
Yeah,
He still one of my closest friends.
I know.
Still one of my we there's no animosity, and that's my guy. That's my guy.
Bro,
Hey,
he is a
everyone,
god DJ,
yeah,
right? He's a DJ's
right.
DJ. He's a DJ's DJ. He can do whatever he wants, and we're gonna approve of that stuff because
Yes,
he's that
yes.
good.
You guys
Yeah,
are
and like that's kind of the way that
you guys are family.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
family, but I think we fight a little less than a family.
That's great.
I always
Debatable.
say, this is a crew, this is not a family.
Yeah,
This is but I say that in the sense of families fight a lot. Families have,
true,
we're in
true.
the foxhole together, so to speak. But with Psych, he is my guy, and he always will be. I don't whatever path any of our DJs take, whatever path any of our family takes, any of our crew takes,
True.
it is 100% perfect. Do your thing. You always have a home here.
Amen. That's so awesome. You guys are
I
awesome.
love that. I love that. I
I
love that. That's a beautiful time.
All right, Bill, you're up.
appreciate you guys answering.
Oh,
I know your fans will want
You're
to know,
fired.
considering the most recent, social media, thing. And we did talk to him at Movement, and I do have some footage from that, him
Good.
speaking and stuff at that time, but that was like, what weeks after that is when that all happened.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and he's a
it's not like some uh whatever path anyone wants to take,
Amen.
that's perfectly fine. And just like I said, you
Laughing
always
at
have a
it
home.
all.
Except for Bill, I'm about to fucking fire his
yeah, right. No,
I'm
Des,
about to fire his ass. Bleep that.
Okay.
Desi's the man. Desi's the man. We
Yes.
love him. We all look up to him. I have never known a better DJ than him.
Yeah.
Right? Jeez, oh Pete's. And
Exactly.
I hold the rest of us in high esteem, but I hold Desi on the highest
Absolutely.
pedestal for that.
He's something. He's amazing. Like you all are. It's just you guys are really ridiculous with it, and I love
It's pretty it's pretty
every
special that we can have a
day.
crew that pushes each other. You know what I mean?
Huh?
Like to have friends
Such a
and
great energy
colleagues.
you guys have.
Yeah, it's amazing dynamic.
How do you see the evolution of Detroit techno, and what role do you think the Detroit techno militia plays in its future?
Let me take that for a second here, and I'd love to hear what Tom has to say. But I think that uh, the current and future state of Detroit techno. I mean, we got to get past all the celebrations of the 25-year, 30-year, 35. We got to get past that, right? And kind of go towards the future. And if that's the case,
Hmm.
hopefully it's not towards pop music. And hopefully I mean, that's probably the case, right? But it's more probably going either deeper or more aggressive. And I choose more aggressive, right? And but it's here to stay for sure. It's literally a genre of music that the rest of the world worships, and it's up to us to, as the militia, to maintain its standards while finding a way for it to go forward. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we can't just be rehashing the same,
Right.
minor seventh chords, in syncopated rhythms, and we got to push it forward, but we still have to, because we're the militia, maintain the standard and maintain the roots of this, and make sure that the rest of us hold up to that. That's how I feel we need to do.
What about you, Tom?
I that makes a lot of sense. That I don't know if I could say it better. For me, I am a student of history. I love the history. I love the legacy of it. And I think it can be shaped other ways. I like what Bill said about not going the pop route. Not we, but Detroit Techno did that. I think we can, as collectively, as Detroit artists, just put that, okay, that was done. Let's make our own underground sound. Let's continue the underground sound that has been cultivated for 40 years. You almost caught me swearing right there. But let's cultivate that underground sound that has happened for the last 40 years
Yeah.
and expand on that. That is what we're trying to do as Detroit Techno Militia. We love the history and we love our little angle to it. And at least the way that Bill and I work, we go a little more aggressive. We use the same Detroit tracks that came out of Detroit in our DJ sets. Like there have been a few times when we are overseas and someone will say, well, you only played a pretty good set, but it wasn't too much Detroit stuff. Well, every place has a different perception of Detroit music, of Detroit techno.
Yeah.
And when they say that, I'll be like, look, bro, we played about 80% Detroit tracks. They aren't the ones that you guys are listening to. They aren't the ones that you've been exposed to. We like exposing different people to different music, whether it's electro or techno or house or whatever. We like exposing people to maybe stuff that they haven't heard. We don't always go over and play the hits.
Right.
We play the stuff that works best for the moment.
So
I'll tell you, going on that point real fast.
Okay, go ahead.
As much traveling as we've done, and as much people as like we've talked to that have done traveling as well. Every single person has a different opinion of what Detroit techno is. All right. And case in point, Tom and I's opinion is different than most people's. Okay. But that being the case, it's fun playing in that realm. What Detroit techno actually is everything but techno, right? All those other records that make that techno vibe, those Italo disco records, those Chicago house records, which are really actually techno records if you think about it. Yeah. But all those things combined is what makes Detroit techno, right? There's some rock and roll in there. Yeah. There's a lot of funk in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of electro in there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like what May said, with Parliament and Kraftwerk and Elevator, but it's a lot deeper than that, right? The Detroit DJ and techno collective.
It's nicer Ebb, and it's front 242. It's Rakim is in there.
It's Rakim is in there, absolutely.
Public Enemy is in there.
That's our Detroit techno, and that's the Detroit techno we're going to share across the world. And I hope you get to come see us one time in your hometown.
Absolutely. What about the vinyl resurgence? You guys got to be excited about that within the last, I feel like the last 5 years especially, I've been seeing a huge vinyl resurgence, coming about. So with the resurgence of it, I know it hasn't gone anywhere, but, I feel like there's, just kind of looking out, you see more and more people picking it up.
Well, think about it. Digital doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like you can buy it, you can download it, you can stream it, you can share it. It doesn't really exist. Like people aren't just buying vinyl; they're buying vinyl that has artwork, right? They're buying vinyl that has liner notes. People want to feel something tangible.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore, and so they might not even have a record player, but they keep buying records because they feel like they own the music. It's like that Taylor Swift story where they had the Aphex Twin track on there, right?
Yeah.
They're not even listening. They're not even listening to these records.
Why do you
It's
tell
okay
this
though.
story?
I don't know the story. I
I
just
do
know
know the
it's something.
story.
I just know that so many people are buying records.
Are you guys gonna release
It's
any vinyl? Like, you guys
absolutely.
any compilation albums in the near future?
In the near future, we're working on a lot of different projects right now. And I don't like hyping anything before anything happens because things don't happen sometimes. But yeah, and 'cause you know how it is with artists. Come on.
I like to put goals on the list. Like,
I know, but I think with artists, I know what it's like.
For me, the performances are the most exciting thing in my whole life. That's why we've been doing it so long, and so
it
that's the
is.
main goal. And
It's
that's the main goal. And so we absolutely produce, and we have a lot of irons in the fire. God, I hope the one project that we're trying to get done would hopefully be out within a couple. Yeah, okay, never mind. Anyway, uh, of course we're doing that, but the
Yes,
most main
just
thing
say
that we're
yes.
doing, yes, is performing and working on our tour schedule.
so that's those are your up and coming projects, tour schedule and possible music.
I personally, I don't like hyping anything before it's done. You
Right.
know, when it's done,
Then it's
you'll
out.
get,
Then it's out. I
yes, yes,
When
yes,
it's done, can we do another interview with you and tell you all about it and have you
yes.
promote that?
I love
I
it.
would love to.
You know I will welcome it all day, every day.
Uh,
Um,
awesome.
so what advice would you give to aspiring DJs and producers who want to follow in your footsteps?
Quit immediately. We don't need any competition. What are you talking
What is it, six
about?
months
No,
or
I'm
three
just kidding.
months? 6 months, 3 months. What was it? 6 months or 3 months?
6 months. If it's not happening in 6 months, just
Get
pull the
out.
plug.
Just go. Almost.
No, fuck. Stick with it. Who
Whoa,
cares?
whoa,
Do
whoa,
it.
language.
Do it for you. Yeah, do it for you. Who cares?
Yeah.
We've met so many people who the goal is to be famous. Uh, our
Really?
goal is to
Is that
not.
what
Yeah,
they
our
say
goal
to
is to
you?
not be famous.
If it
Well, that's what
happens,
they
it happens.
Huh?
think
If it
about this.
happens, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Tom and I talked many years ago, and we talked about our goals like we're talking about today. And we talked about like, what if you were number one in the world tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
What if your dream came true and you were the number one DJ tomorrow? What do you do the day after that? Right? It's a downhill struggle the rest of your life. So instead, our goal is to constantly be working upwards, right?
Mhm.
And Kings of the Underground isn't too bad. And working our way up from there and staying on that line is what we've been maintaining for the past 25 years and having a lot of fun doing it. So that's the goal. Keep doing that stuff.
Okay. How does
If you're trying to make money
okay,
in
go
this
ahead.
business, this is not the right business. Seriously, trust me.
What do
If you
you
want to go into debt, keep going, buddy.
Yeah.
here's one. Now, what do you hope will be Detroit Techno Militia's legacy in the world of electronic music, and what are your goals for that future?
I'll take
Tom,
that
that's all you, buddy.
one. Just a crew of hard grinding individuals who are true to their craft, true to their soul, true to the soul of the music, uh true to just everything from being at the gig, true to when you get the gig, it doesn't matter the size of the gig. You rip that gig like it's your last.
Mhm.
You make the best music you can with the stuff you got, and you make something for, even though people may not appreciate it now or ever, you do the best you can at that point, and it doesn't matter what people think. You pour your soul into it and you do your thing.
Amen. I love that. Thank you for that. Um, so I want to talk about how do you integrate like the new technology into your music while staying true to the analog roots of your Detroit techno?
Well, that's easy. Uh, we play techno. That's technology. We
Yeah.
can't fight technology. I heard someone say a long time ago, I used to be a manager at Guitar Center. And like, should you not play the electric guitar because the acoustic guitar came first? Like,
Yes.
no, right? Yes. Thanks, Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Got me on that one.
The uh for sure though, right? Like so digital's important, but I'll tell you, like I think about this a lot. And because I love vinyl and digital's a format that fits into what we do, but what we do is mix, all right? What we're doing is we're mixing two mediums.
Yeah.
If you've seen some old school DJs, they mix like a reel to reel and a turntable,
Right.
or a tape deck and something else.
Mhm.
Uh, if you're mixing two CDJs, that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. Uh, kind of okay with a controller, but my problem is it's just one thing. It's not mixing with anything else, right? You're making the software do what the software is kind of supposed to do. Like when you get two turntables, those are not supposed to play together. Two reel to reels, you got some serious skills, right? What's happening, right? Even two CDJs, you got to make like that can go terrible in a heartbeat. A controller or one drum machine. I don't know. Like I'm into mix kind of like culture, and so I don't care what you're using, vinyl, CDJ. Just be mixing two things, at least two things, and that's what I'm interested in seeing. Does that make sense? I'm
That
sorry,
makes
it's kind of
Yeah,
negative.
you know
Does
what?
that make sense?
I used to take a really hard line on this and be like, oh yeah, vinyl's the way to go. Anything else is just a jukebox. But
Heard people say that.
oh, I know that's me. That was me for years, for a decade, probably. But
Since when did we start sounding like our fucking parents?
what?
You know what I mean? You hear that
No,
music? They always they talk shit on our music, and then we're talking shit on the next people's.
these kids
I
today,
feel like
they
we
don't
become our
know. These
parents.
kids, they don't
Well,
know what we had to
hey,
go through.
just so I can say something, they don't know. The kids
They
today
don't
do not
know.
know. Just saying.
And you
No,
heard it
but
here.
one of the things I used to take a really hard line on this, and I used to be like kind of an old man when it comes to this kind of thing. Like I was an older man then than I am now. It's kind of a funny thing because now let's make stuff happen. Let's
Mhm.
make music happen. I don't care what you're making it on. You make, like I said before, you make the best you can on the equipment that you
Well,
have.
technology that you got.
Yeah.
Yep. And for me personally, I can't take too much technology. I'm not used to so many options. I'm not a technology guy. I'm a caveman playing two
This is my favorite
stone
part of the interview right
tablets.
now.
Me and
Oh
me
my
and Fred
God.
Flintstone did a tag team the other day. It was dope. Yeah, we played on stone
That was
tablets the whole
awesome.
time. But no, now I've opened myself up to other ways of thinking, and I'm not a caveman when it comes to that. I've realized that there's other ways to do things.
First,
It's
bottom
but it
line
doesn't
is,
have to be the easy
bottom
way.
line is, our the fact that we're putting together like a curating an energy
Hmm.
for everybody to vibe to, and it's like it's like a chef. It's like a chef. You're
Right.
coordinating all these layers to the rest.
Yeah.
I the recipe being the mix or whatever journey that
Yeah.
you're on. That's how I do it. So you came up to me at Charivari, and that was wild as fuck for me because I was
You
on.
was crushing it.
He
You was
came.
crushing
He,
it.
he came up after my set. I didn't even know he was. I didn't know who was watching me because honestly, I just disappear when I'm up there. I literally just disappear, into the music. So when you came up and then you high fived me behind the stage, that shit, I looked at you like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
I'll
You
tell you what, I was
and I
there,
also
and I don't
can't
want to.
because I worked my ass off to get to that moment where I could just disappear like y'all do, like you guys do. When you guys are up there, you're just in it. Your energy's in it. And you know what? Seeing you guys over the years for me, taught me that that's how I wanted to feel. And
Oh, wow.
you know what I'm saying?
That's so cool.
When I really started to really practice. So practicing became, I had to make mixing my bitch because, I was down here in the boys club up in Cleveland and Akron, honey, and they ain't kind. You know what I mean? They will talk shit
Mm.
on you here in the heartbeat.
That's part of it,
I
though.
had to come correct, you know what I mean, when I came out. There weren't that many female DJs at all in this area that, came up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's been only like a handful, and I'm one of them. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And, and it's just like when I started following this path as a, you know, I'm a Puerto Rican Gen Xer.
Get that,
And I
girl. Get it.
love this music. You know what I mean? And I connect to it and it saved my life. But I also wanted to remember myself in it and just become it so that it's just like kind of, because honestly, it's a great feeling to do something and connect with it and feel natural in it. And you guys do that. You guys
Oh,
do
wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
and I want, that's what I aspire to, feel like in the music.
Well,
And
let me tell you, at Charivari, I saw it firsthand. The energy, I wasn't there for very long that day, but the sets that I saw, everyone was sitting down and having a good time. But it was a sit down kind of performance, right? And then you went on, and that's when everybody stood up, and that's when everybody was dancing. I remember telling Tom, I said, we got to turn it up. We're playing later this evening. We got to
yeah,
turn it up. And like, because sometimes when you play, like, because we could play all types of music, and we don't plan anything ahead, but of course, mentally, I'm going to a house music festival. They
yeah,
booked the Detroit Techno Militia, so I need to play somewhere in between those two things, right? And then we saw you play it. I go, Tom, forget it. Let's just go. Let's just bang it out
Yep.
tonight. And we beat it, and it was sweet. So you inspired us that day too. So I really appreciate you. Thank you. You were really great.
oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Wow.
See, it's reciprocal. Here we go.
It
Let's do it
is.
again. Let's
There it
do it
is.
It's so
There it
fucking
is.
natural. It's so natural. It just feels real natural. Once you
Yeah.
get it, you get it. When you're in it, you're in it.
It's feeling the vibe.
It's deep. It's
Like, like it's such a cliche about feeling the vibe of the crowd, but there's a lot to that. That's how, at least for me as a performer, that's how it works. I don't play my meat grinder stuff at a party called at a party with the history of Charivari, but I feel the vibe. And I'll go a little like when I say meat grinder, I mean da 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 techno. I like there's a lot to be said for feeling the vibe. And that's one of the things as DJs, that's one of the arts other than just hitting play on a jukebox.
right. Yes.
We might sometimes when you're trying to feel the vibe, you might not always hit it right because it's when it's improv, you might not always hit the right
You
vibe,
gotta test it.
but you got to test it. But I'm always trying to create the vibe too, you know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
so when you're meeting the
I
crowd
feel
at
that
that
from you
point.
too. It's awesome though. It's awesome though when you do that, because you go in, but you still going easy going in. You know what I mean?
They know what they're
Yeah,
getting into when they book you. They
you
know
know,
what they're getting into when they put you on that time slot.
they might not know what they're going to hear, but they know what kind of vibe they're going to get and
Right,
what kind of
right.
energy they're going to get from the performer and how much I'm going to care about that set. So that's what they're going to get.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great vibing with you guys on this. Really,
Um,
truly. Thank you
well,
for
that's what it's all about, you know?
oh, when you just know, you just know. When you feel it, you just feel it. When you connect to it, you connect to it.
Right,
And
right.
if you really want to work at it and be skilled for it, it'll come. It'll come. You just got to keep practicing and keep doing it.
Yeah,
Well,
the real
30 years
advice,
later. Go ahead,
the real
Bill.
advice for the newcomers is don't give up. If you're not getting the gigs,
Right.
make your own gigs, right? If you're not getting
Right.
the record
That's how
deals,
Techno
make your
Militia.
own record deal.
Exactly. Well, Techno Militia started because we weren't really getting the push that we were getting. And Angie said, we don't need any push from anyone.
Mm.
Let's do our own thing. Let's push our own thing. We don't, we've had a lot of people who have mentored us and given us help along the way. But Angie's whole thing was, we don't want to owe anyone without saying any foul language here. I don't owe anyone anything. But we do owe a lot of thanks to the people who have helped us along the way.
Yeah.
But the whole
Yeah,
thing
we're
was,
standing on the shoulders of giants over here for
yeah,
sure.
but we don't
That's
owe
awesome.
anyone shit.
You guys have built a hell of a brand. You know what I mean? It's like you put your stamp on techno, and that stamp that's here forever, guys. You know
I
that.
hope so. Well, if
You know
not,
what I
that's
mean?
cool
It's
too. But
impactful. And yeah, and I can see why it can be aggressive, because you know what? We live in a very aggressive time where you just gotta get that energy out healthfully. And you guys found it through music. You know what I mean? And you
we
guys
try
are
to.
delivering that to others,
We try to. We try to.
and it feels good. It feels good to get that level of aggression out. You know what I mean? Even on the dance floor when you're
Yeah,
feeling it, when
that's
you're
the whole point.
through you. You know, um,
Oh
that's
man, is it awesome? It's so awesome after
that's
we perform for like 6 hours, just beating it down. That's a pretty good feeling. That's a pretty good feeling.
And
oh
one
yeah.
of the things with Detroit Techno Militia, and I think I can speak for all the artists in the crew. It's we know that people work hard to make the money to come
Hmm.
see us. Well,
Hmm.
even if it's a free party, they took time off,
Right.
or they got a babysitter, or they just took time out in their day to come see us play. That makes a difference to us.
It does.
So I don't care if it's in some whole place with two people in there, we will still play as hard as we would at any festival, at any backyard, bar room, basement,
I'll
wherever.
I'll tell you right now, it's easy to rock a crowd of 10,000
Do a
people. They're
basement tour.
ready for it. They're
I have
ready
a
for it.
fantasy about wanting to do like a basement tour and bring like MC
Hell
on a base.
I've
yeah.
done that.
Let's
We've
do a
done
I
that
tell you
basement
what,
too.
tour. If you
I'll tell
guys
you,
are
it's not
wanting to partnering
easy.
in that, I'm interested in getting in that. Get me on a basement
Yes.
tour.
If
Like
you
I'm
can
cool
rock
with
a
that. Those
basement,
little
you can
private
rock
parties are
anywhere.
like where it's at.
We're not going to like fold in half for anyone. Like we will do what we're hired to do. Even if we're
I
not
was,
hired, we're gonna do what we do.
You guys are so cool. You guys are so real,
Oh, stop.
oh, thank you.
like the sweetest guys. So cool, so giving. I've even oh,
Hey, honey, get in here. Listen to me.
The first time I was on a lineup with you, I was a visual artist on a lineup for a fundraiser we did for victims of I
Where
guess
was this? Where was this? I was see if I remember this. Where was this?
um what was that thing? I can't remember the event name, but you guys donated some time and did a set. I donated some time by doing some live painting, and it was a really cool event. I can't remember the name
Was
of it.
that
Doesn't
in
matter.
Dayton? Was that in Dayton, Ohio?
No, that was in Detroit. Oh,
Okay.
Chop's Knife House. He
Oh yeah,
remember he
Oh.
yeah, he
That
always
was our first time playing together?
yeah, Chops always gave back. He always seems like he's like a really nice guy,
yeah. I like chops.
big ass heart, loves really, he's a really good artist too. But he did that little fundraiser and you guys came through. And that was the first time I was like on like a lineup with you.
Oh,
But I was
First
like
of
that's
many.
awesome.
First
like a
of many.
visual artist. I was a painter for that. So it was a really cool event. And it was really
Yeah.
good because it really benefited women, and you guys have always
Well, you heard Tom earlier. He did it for the chicks, right?
women chicks.
Oh,
You go, boy, you go. See how that manifested in such a great way?
wait, put a bow on that one, huh?
See? I think that's pretty cool, man.
And to think I carry this guy all around the world, huh?
I know.
Oh man.
As I always been an advocate for women's issues, and I think that was huge for me too, because I mean, it was like, whoa, even they're like geniuses behind the turntables and advocates for women, right?
We're Techno is for equality. All
Yeah,
right.
No.
There's no colors or races or line. Techno is techno, right? And Detroit
amen.
Techno Militia is for everybody.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
amen. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
I really do appreciate this interview and everything. I want are there any up and coming show dates? Because we got about a couple more minutes. So
A
Absolutely.
lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's been really nice. Things have really been kind of falling into place for all of us. Locally this weekend, Speaker Box. We're doing a Techno Militia show there
uh-huh.
with a close friend and colleague of ours, Eisbrenner from Berlin. He's going to be the headliner. Um, we we're gonna knock the dust off of a good friend of ours, John Jor. He's gonna be playing, and an
Hey,
up and coming DJ who's a ripper, DJ IV. He's gonna be playing,
that's
and
so awesome.
these two old farts are gonna be playing me and Billy over here.
Yours truly. Let's go.
Yes, and then yeah, October. Bill, you have some Australia stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to Australia in September. We're doing Colombia, the Tech Sound anniversary, which is massive in Bogota, Colombia,
Ooh.
this October.
Yeah,
And
I'll be
that's
at ADE in October in Ann
uh,
Arbor. Just check our, the Facebook
like
Detroit,
and subscribe.
Facebook Bangtech 12, Facebook DJ Soul.
DetroitTechnoMilitia.com.
Yeah,
Oh,
technomilitia.com or our Instagram. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And yeah.
I think thank you guys for joining us. Peace.
Peace.
Love you guys. You guys are the best.
Great job. That was really good. That was really.
Oh, I got
I wasn't.
recording.